The sun is alone too, but it still shines. It is a beautiful sentence. No wonder, honestly, no wonder people share it so much. Because it speaks to something that is deeply human. The ache of being alone. The desire to remain strong. The need to keep going when nobody seems to understand you. There is comfort in it. There is dignity in it. There is even truth in it. Yes. But this is not a message about loneliness, no. This is a message about coherence. And there is a difference. Many people hear that sentence and quietly translate it into something completely different. They translated it as, I do not need anyone. I will walk alone. I will prove myself. I will become so strong that connection no longer matters. Well, it does sound powerful. It does sound clean. It even sounds independent. But sometimes what we call strength is simply disappointment wearing armor. Sometimes what we call independence is a nervous system that no longer trusts relationship. And sometimes what we call solitude is not sovereignty. It is withdrawal with better language. Because the sun is not truly alone. It is surrounded by planets. You see, Mercury moves close to it. Venus reflects its light. Earth receives its warmth. Mars cycles in its own red silence. Jupiter carries its storms. Saturn wears its rings. Uranus and Neptune move at the edge of visible intimacy. And far beyond them, there is Pluto. And Pluto continues its journey. Reclassified, yeah, debated, that too, occasionally forgotten, yeah, yet still participating in the system. And there are moons orbiting the planets, and gravity holds conversation across distance. Movement influences movement. Nothing, absolutely nothing in that system exists as a disconnected object. The solar system is not built around isolation, no. The solar system is built around relationship. The sun is not remarkable because it is alone. Mm-mm-mm. The sun is remarkable because it remains itself. Mhm. You see, the sun does not chase Mercury, does not negotiate with Jupiter. It does not attempt to become Saturn. It does not dim itself because the outer planets are far away. It does not become anxious because some things orbit closer than others. No. The sun simply remains what it is. Consistently, reliably, coherently. And because it remains what it is, an entire system can orient around it. And that is the lesson. Not solitude, self-consistency. Human beings often confuse selfhood with isolation. This happens especially after disappointment, after betrayal, after years of adapting to rooms that never truly understood them. And we're told that the person becomes tired of explaining, tired of adjusting, tired of being misread, tired of being asked to become smaller, softer, easier, simpler. And so eventually they say, I need no one. Wow. But often, beneath that sentence, there is not freedom. No. Beneath that sentence is fatigue. But the opposite distortion is just as dangerous. Because some people do not isolate. They adapt. They bend themselves into belonging. They learn the room before they learn themselves. They study perception before they inhabit their own presence. They become acceptable before they become coherent. And over time, the performance becomes so familiar that they mistake it for identity. Dangerous territory. They are no longer alone, but they are no longer fully themselves either. And that is not belonging. That is self-abandonment with company. So the question is not, do I need people? Of course you do. Human beings are relational creatures. So of course you need people. Human beings need warmth, witness, conversation, love, friction, recognition, shared life. which means that the deeper question is, can I enter relationship without abandoning what is true in? Can I belong without disappearing? Can I love without self-erasure? Can I be seen without becoming a performance? Can I participate without negotiating away my center? That is the real work. The sun does not persuade the planets to orbit. No. The sun does not perform brightness to prove its value. The sun does not announce its importance every single morning. No. The sun simply remains coherent. And coherence creates gravity. And that is true in human life as well. Not always immediately, not always dramatically, but over time, coherence changes the field around the person. This happens because people begin to understand where they stay with you. Opportunities become easier to discern. Relationships either deepen or reveal their incompatibility. Your life begins to organize less around reaction and more around truth. And that is not control, no. That is orientation. There is another mistake people usually make. They confuse shining with being noticed. But the sun was shining way before you looked at it. Its nature did not begin when it was recognized. And this matters. This matters because many people do not want to shine. They want confirmation that their shining is working. They want evidence. They want audience. They want applause. They want immediate response. But if your light depends entirely on recognition, then your light is not yet governed. No. Your light is still negotiated. You see, the sun does not shine because it is watched. No. The sun shines because shining belongs to its nature. And even the solar system is not the full picture. The sun belongs to a wider movement. The solar system moves through the Milky Way. The Milky Way moves through something larger still. The more wider you look, the more obvious it all becomes. Reality is not organized. organized around isolation. Everything, literally everything participates. Everything belongs to a field. Everything exists inside relationship, inside scale, inside movement, and inside consequence. So perhaps the goal is not to become untouchable. Perhaps the goal is to become coherent enough to participate without losing yourself. There is a strength that comes from isolation, but there is a deeper strength that can remain intact in relationship. The strength that does not dominate. A strength that does not need withdrawal. A strength that does not collapse into approval. A strength that can say, I am here. I am open. I am connected. And I am still myself. That is far rarer and far more mature as well. So perhaps the question is not, can you shine when you are alone? Perhaps the question is, can you remain yourself when others enter your orbit? When love enters, when visibility increases, when opportunity appears, when people expect something from you, when belonging becomes possible, when life begins responding. Are you able to remain coherent then? Because solitude may reveal strength, yes, but relationship reveals structure. The sun is alone too, but it still shines. It is indeed a beautiful sentence. But perhaps the lesson was never about being alone. Perhaps the lesson was always about remaining yourself. And that is exactly what the sun does. The sun shines because it remains what it is. And because it remains what it is, planets gather, systems emerge, life becomes possible. So I urge you, do not confuse selfhood with isolation. Do not confuse adaptation with belonging. Do not mistake loneliness for strength. The lesson of the sun is not solitude. The lesson of the sun is coherence. And for those who require positioning beyond what is shared here, there are forms of work not conducted in public. Access exists.